Hi, I'm Steve and welcome to the bike build, currently known as the Dart. As usual, most people are watching without subscribing, so please hit the subscribe button down below or in the corner of the video. It doesn't cost anything. I'd like to try and push the channel up to 1500 subs, so please help us out. Last week I mentioned what we should do with the seat now the tank's getting painted. I put a poll up on the community tab of the page. Some people didn't seem to know what that was. I didn't know what it was before it, to be honest. So go to the community tab, press that, it'll bring up the poll, and then please vote. And these are the options: to just cover the seat in vinyl, to have the seat painted with a vinyl seat on it, or to have the seat as vinyl with a removable painted cover. So please go on there and vote. It'd be interesting to see what people are thinking. This time I'm going to be stripping down the wheels, getting the bearings out, etc., getting them ready for powder coating. Quite a long process, so it's going to be the first of the two-part videos. So there's this video today, and then will be a second video on Sunday at 2 o'clock. So that to look forward to as well. So that's it, a lot to do, let's get on with it. First thing is get the wheels apart, get the discs off, get the dust seals out. You don't necessarily have to take the bearings out, but they're probably going to be shot by the time they're finished, but you're going to cover them up. But the dust seals will melt, obviously, because the powder coat goes on at over 200 degrees, I'm not exactly sure what it is. So parts off, discs off, and then I'll have to get the tyres taken off, valves out, all the weights off. All of this Cush drive will come off as a separate piece. Now that's not bad. A little bit of movement, but it's not too slack. Yeah, that's pretty good. So take that out. I'll have to decide whether I get the Cush drive thing itself powder coated. Obviously this sprocket, the chain and sprocket was supposed to be new, and you can see it's virtually no wear, so that is okay. Bearings feel fine. That one's a little bit stiff. There's a rubber o-ring to take out, and then the little rubbers themselves. So I'll leave that bearing in for now, so it just doesn't get clogged up, and I'll be covering that in a minute. And what I'll do is, so if there's any misalignment, any balancing issues with the disc, to make sure the disc goes back in the same place, I'll mark where the valve is. So that's where the valve is, and then you know that this will go on the same way, the disc will go on the same way around, go in the same place. So I'll take that off. See, that seal's got a bit of oxidisation of the aluminium on it, and you see there, look, that bearing doesn't look too hot, so that will get changed. I don't know whether I'm going to powder coat the drive, the Cush drive. I think I will, so I'm going to knock the bearings out, get the seal out, knock the bearings out. They all feel fine, but it's probably worth replacing them. I haven't decided whether I'm going to powder coat the Cush drive yet. I've took the bearings out, and I will put the nuts back on here, which will help me keep the threads clean, and it will keep these faces clean. I could just polish them up later, but it's just a bit easier. Put them back on, and that is ready for powder coating or painting. I'll have to decide. Right. So, also, I was going to leave the wheel bearings in so that when it had been powder coated, I could knock the bearings out, it would clean out any powder coat, and then I put the new bearings in. But what I've been thinking about is I'm going to be banging away on it. If I end up slipping or it bangs on something, throw one of the tyres on, it doesn't touch that, I might end up marking the powder coating. So I'm going to knock the bearings out now. So I've got a piece of tube that's just a bit bigger, just a bit smaller than the spindle size was. So what you've got to do is sort of angle the spacer inside so that you can catch the inner edge of the bearing and then knock it through. It wouldn't do the bearings any good, but they're scrap anyway, so it doesn't matter. It's a bit awkward to film. So that's through there, and that's already, there you go. And I think that is almost out. There you go. So okay, I've got that tube. So you have to knock the bearing, and it's going to tend to want to do that. So you've got to keep swapping from side to side. But you can see that bearing there does not look good. It still turns okay, but it doesn't look great. So time for a change. And that is the tube from the inside. Once that one's out, the other side is a lot easier. I just need to lift that a little bit. And there we are. So what you need now is these. I got all these from the local pound shop. They were in bags called bonus bags. They were £1 each, and they had all different size washers. So bigger washers, we'll put them on there with a piece of threaded bar through, nut either side, and that will keep that clear for powder coating. They'll probably get a bit of powder coating here, I assume, but I'll be able to clean that up and later on. So that's that one done, just a tyre to remove. So as you could see, holding in the spindle, the front wheel spindle, we had mismatched bolts. It is an 8.8 grade, so it's a high tensile bolt, but not great. You would just make sure you got the right bolts. The bottom of the triple clamp, triple trees, whatever you want to call it, obviously I've got to take the bearings off, get that dust seal off. These look relatively new, but I think I'll probably change them and possibly try and get some tapered roller bearings in. Bit of a problem with the microphone and a bit of a problem with the filming. So what you didn't see was I have taken the bearings off of here. I just used my special bearing removing screwdriver, got under there, lifted that bearing off and the dust shield, and leave that off slowly, bit at a time. I fastened all the bearings in the order that they come off. I have got a Haynes manual, so I don't really need to do that, but if you didn't have a Haynes manual, that's how you would do it. They're all the bolts, and so in a bag as usual. I'm also going to grind off all the cast marks from here, smooth all that up before it goes to powder coat. I don't know what to do about covering the shaft. I might just have to clean it off afterwards. I assume they just spray around and I probably have to clean up the bearing area afterwards. So that is done, barring the dressing. That's all for this time, but it's not all for this week because the video's run over 10 minutes. I'm going to put another video up on Sunday, as I said earlier. So come back and I will see you on Sunday about 2 o'clock.